Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to the Driving on My Mind podcast. And today we're going to be talking about too much car. So a little inspiration from this. I was driving to Temecula. I'm not too sure what I was going. Maybe it was breakfast. Maybe it was going grocery shopping, or I had something to do relatively early in the morning. And so I'm exiting and I'm getting on the freeway. And then I noticed this like giant, like 2500 HD, 6.7 turbo diesel. And like, it was like not towing anything, not doing anything. It was in the far left lane, but it was going like 65 miles per hour. And like, I couldn't see exactly who was in there, but I thought to myself, like, this is such an extremely capable truck. Here I am in my little 2000 Frontier Beater 3.3. And then next to me is a $100,000 plus truck that can tow like 20,000 pounds. What we're doing the same thing. Like, I'm going faster than this HD 6.7 turbo diesel, or however big the engine and motors are in it. But so it got me thinking about, like, do you have too much car? And I reflect upon my own experiences back in 2016 when I first moved out here to Menifee. And, I was still driving my 2011 Mazda 2 Sport, 5-speed manual, no cruise control. It was an extremely fun car. Great on the gas, 30 miles per gallon wherever you went. But it had like 100 horsepower, and, I started really gaining some weight at the time with the stress of, new job, new area. And, it's a car that served its purpose, but I definitely wanted to upgrade. And at the time, my brother had his, 2015 GMC Yukon Denali. And I had to take, I don't know, for one reason or another, I had to take his SUV, drop off my nieces to a soccer game. And, that was the first time I was like driving a brand new car, or like a newish car, And I was thinking to myself, wow, this is crazy. The seats vibrating when I get out of the lane, and, all these gears and a backup camera. Like, this is insane. And so, we ended up going shopping. I wanted to get a truck, and I tried to get a Chevrolet with a 5.3, but they were not pushing like the deal. Like, they didn't want a deal. They didn't want to come down on price or anything like that. But I ended up finding a 2014 GMC Sierra Denali. So fantastic. It has a big old 6.2 in it. I already had a bed liner in it, and it was a fantastic truck, a big old truck, full size. It was everything I wanted, and I got a great deal on it. I guess he was just sitting on there a lot, and it was 47 out the door back in 2016, which was quite a lot at the time. I had like 17,000 miles on it. It wasn't too crazy, but it was still a lot of money for me, and I wasn't tenured yet. And, I was really gambling and rolling the dice on it. But this was like, oh my God, like, this is a fantastic deal. Like, I got a new car, new truck. I got it all now. Yeah. And, that truck was fantastic, but it was, as I reflect upon it, and I owned it, I paid it off in 5 years, and I ended up trading it in as a down payment for the LC. But I thought to myself, like, as I look at that 2500 HD and I look upon my own reflection on this Sierra Denali, I was like, did I need as a single man with with no kids, no wife, no girlfriend, 2 dogs and a cat? Like, did I need a full size truck with a 6.2? And hey, don't get me wrong, a 6.2 was fantastic. But I did not need this truck. It was just too much car for me, right? And who knows, maybe at the time I was thinking, oh, maybe, a new job, not new career, I was still in the classroom, but, new job, new school, new setting. Maybe I'll meet someone, maybe I'll already have the family car, and I can give it to my girlfriend or my wife, and we'll have all that situation. We already have the mommy mobile with the big truck, and maybe I'll just I'll branch off into the future and do something. You think about all those things, and heck, I could have got a Type R at the time when it first came out, but instead I had this big old truck or whatever. And maybe I was thinking about like, oh, I'm gonna end up with a family within 5 years and blah 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 blah. Well, none of that happened as it turned out, and so I think about this truck and how my mindset was maybe at the time versus now. And so I'm asking you guys, my audience, what do you think? Do you have too much car? Do you own too much car? And I brought up some questions, and definitely refer back to some of my old podcasts where we talk about, the 2-car garage, the 3-car garage, and when you're starting a project car, what are some of the things you should be looking out for? All these things still apply to whether you have too much car. So I hope I'm driving your mind and I'm giving you these thoughts and perspectives. And who knows, you can totally call me out. You can say I'm wrong, but I'm right. That's the whole point of this podcast, right? I'm wrong, I'm right. But definitely let me know. And again, thank you for following up with the podcast. School's well underway, but now with football season, there was a meet this morning, but dude, I woke up and I just fell right back asleep. But I saw some pictures and it was really, really good. I missed out for sure, but we'll see what comes up this weekend. If not, I know I'm going to Tom's Farms on the 30th. That is already blocked out, so we'll have to see. I'm gonna miss the meet at the airport, in the Corona airport, on the 24th. I got USPSA, so I'm missing out local car scene and the Corona meet in the 24th. But definitely, if you guys are going out there, I can't wait to go see all the pictures and all the cool stuff. But yeah, we'll see what shows up. But if not, the next video definitely will be Tom's Farms. And I'm waiting for my coworker. He has his Mustang on order, but the UAW striking, the Teamsters are on it. So his Mustang, he already got his email saying that it's in production, and it's not at one of the plants that are affected, but it's like, dang, I can't wait to see. I can't wait to drive it. We'll definitely make a video when my coworker gets his Mustang GT. And we'll definitely talk about it on the podcast. Okay, so let's go back to the topic. That was a little mini update on what's been going on. And my poor Chargers 0-2. Oh, such close games too. They got a lot of work to figure out over there. All right, too much cars. Okay, so one of the first questions you should ask yourself is, again, what is its purpose? What do you see it in 6 months? What do you see it in 1 year, year 2, year 3, year 5, right? Going back to my personal story with my GMC, it was, I don't want to say it was an impulse purchase, but I was heavily influenced by my brother's Yukon Denali, and I've always wanted a truck. And again, this deal, dealing with Temecula Chevrolet, right? Paradise Chevrolet, and they were just not willing to budge. And I figured, oh, well, whatever. I figured that it wasn't going to be my time yet. And then I bought the GMC out in a Redlands, and dude, they were like, hey, man, we're willing to help you, work out with you. This is what we have. This is a fantastic, let us know what you're willing to pay and we can work something out. And the numbers fell 47 out the door. It was like perfect. Like they were just trying to get rid of it. And so, again, the purpose, like, is it, is it for you to get back and forth to work? Is it going to be your mommy mobile? Is it going to be doing work, right? This GMC Sierra Denali would have been great, like at a job site or work site. Huge payload, ability to tow. It didn't have the trailer brake, but it had everything else. And so it had 4-wheel drive too, open diffs. But, what are you trying to have your truck or car serve its purpose? If I got a Type R, right? What would have been its purpose? If I would have got a Jeep, right? These my bestie Yanni, we always talk about like these people with these Jeeps, these Mojaves or these 392 Rubicons, and they're just going to Vaughn's or Albertsons or, your local grocery outlet. And it's just like, dude, you have an $80,000 Jeep, 392, and you're hauling 3 bags of groceries from your Food for Less. It's like, what is your purpose of having such a capable and extremely amazing car, and you're just going up and down from the school to the outlet to the soccer mom store, right? And so we always ask yourself, okay, so maybe, I'm buying this now. It's a new car excitement. After 6 months, it kind of wears off, right? In a year, I'm going to be able to go camping, right? Or in a couple of years, I'm going to go to the track, right? I'm going to go to an autocross at the baseball parking lot, right? Or, you think you have these plans, and so maybe you buy this car with the anticipation of X, Y, and Z. And so again, I ask you, like, okay, it's been 6 months, it's been 1 year, it's been 2 years. What is your plan for your car? Have you gone to Anza Borrego and been on some trails yet, or have you gone to your local autocross or taken some driving lessons? Or are you still in the In-N-Out parking lot? Or, like Savage Geese likes to say, I need a Corvette 3LT for my Starbucks, my Starbucks drive-through. It's like people don't understand. They have so much car, yet they don't use it for its intended purpose or what they need to do it for. Or, and we'll get to it in a moment, like maybe you just are completely off base with what you're using the car for, rather than what kind of car you could have gotten for cheaper that would have more fulfilled your purpose. So moving on, we have, what kind of maintenance or upgrades do you have planned for it? Now, me, myself, I'm kind of over that when it comes to like upgrades, but, maintenance was a huge factor for me. And I definitely noticed there's a bigger difference when it comes to maintenance at your local Mazda dealer versus your Lexus dealer, your GMC dealer. And they take a little more pride, or they give the customers a little more respect. And I would say wholeheartedly the technicians there were no different or no better than some of the other ones. But, me working back as a technician 20 some odd years ago, there was that level of hierarchy and who's been here the longest and what kind of jobs they get, the money jobs, the gravy jobs versus the crazy complex stuff that you're going to flag a lot of hours, but it's probably going to take just as long, right? And so I would say, are you buying more of a car because you enjoy the dealership experience, or, you want that cheaper kind of maintenance and the coupons that they send out in the mailer, right? or in the email. And again, what are your performance upgrades? Are you buying this Mojave, this Gladiator Mojave and adding your 37s and your iCamper, right? And you're actually going to go out and use it. Versus you're going to buy your tactical, your tactical gas tanks and 1 pound propanes and your drawers, right? They add the little drawers in the back, which I think is so cool, right? Truthfully, I think that's freaking awesome. But they add the little drawers, their iCamper, their little tactical, side mounts with the propane and the water and the skid boards, or like the traction boards. And you're just showing up to your local Burgers and Beer to flex on everybody that you spent $100,000 on a Jeep you don't take out, right? And beyond this, like, if that's what makes you happy, again, I'm just the hater. But I'm seriously asking you, like, do you have too much car, considering what do you drive and what do you do on a daily basis, right? You have your FL5 Type R, like that's my dream, right? And for me, treating cars as an investment, which you should not do, but thinking about like, this is my car, that's a tactile investment that I can, offload if I need to. I'm going to take care of it. I'm going to baby it. I'm going to, keep it pristine, and I'm going to keep it maintained. Right. But I'm not necessarily using it for what it's capable. Like, I have this Civic Type R that could run the Nürburgring in like freaking 7.5 minutes. And all I'm doing is taking it to detail garage to show it off. Right. Like, you see the discrepancy of what I'm using the car for. Granted, I have the rationale with it versus what its capabilities are. And truth be told, if I was smart, or if I was extremely into investing or properly spending money, dude, you just need a 1996 Toyota Corolla and you'll be fine, right? And just Uber everywhere and save all your freaking money, because we know how much this car habit takes up, right? But definitely, like, what is your maintenance and upgrades plans for it? Because why are you going to buy a BMW M3 or like, even this is my dilemma, buy a Porsche knowing that I have to do a $500 oil change? Like, that's crazy to me. And it's the same oil, your Mobil 1 that you can get at Walmart for $30, right? Or I can get a regular Honda Civic or Toyota Corolla and get an oil change for $50. Even though I'm using a Porsche, and it's the same exact use of what I'm doing, going up and down the freeway, going to work, right? So maintenance and upgrades. Next is it a daily? Is it a second car? And what I kind of talked about earlier was definitely listen to my podcasts about the 2-car garage and 3-car garage. If this is your extra car, go do whatever you want to do. But if you're only limited to a 1 or 2-car garage, you really have to keep things multifaceted. And maybe you want too much car. You want that 2500 HD because not only are you, working in places where you may need to have a truck, but perhaps in the future you are going to be getting a towing. You're going to end up towing stuff, or maybe buy a trailer, right? And then you're going to use it to trailer maybe another car to the drag strip or something, right? So that's going back to your anticipation. But if this is your second car and it's still doing the same duties as your first car, then what's the point? Right? If you have your 2006 Toyota Tacoma, and then your second car is your 2023 2500 HD, but you're still doing the same stuff. You're not buying a trailer, you're not upgrading, and the gas mileage is just as awful. What's the point, right? Why do you have too much car? What else could you have thought about or broaden your horizon for? That's what we want to consider when you're thinking, if you have too much car, what is your second, what is your third car? And particularly gas. Like, dude, gas right now, until they switch to this winter blend or whatever in California, dude, gas is $5.20 at Costco. At your freaking Price Club, it's $5.20 for 87 unleaded. Like, that's freaking expensive, man. Like, just to operate my truck, just going to work and back, no extra trips, maybe a grocery trip or a food trip, one extra trip, within the day. You're looking at like $70 a week. And that's just bare minimum driving, nothing else. And that's expensive right now. So But again, if you got money to blow, whatever. I sure don't. And then lastly, I kind of come to this. What is your lowest common denominator, right? Do you want just a car that is going to be uber comfortable, that takes you to and from work with, a good sound system? Or do you want this ultimate track car, 911 GT2 RS kind of, feel? What is it that you want this car to do for you only? Okay. And 98% of the time, it's get me back and forth to work comfortably, maybe some music, or the ability to Bluetooth. I have my FM transmitter in my Frontier. So do that. It works just fine for me, for what I need, right? Because it's not my little Frontier is not too much car. Now, don't get me wrong. Would I love, a Lexus ES with freaking Apple CarPlay? Yes, absolutely. But then again, is it too much? Well, a Lexus ES is actually kind of perfect because that is like your ultimate comfort car, right? But I'm thinking like a GR Corolla. My brother test drove a GR Corolla when he was getting his GT86 serviced, and the guy was like, "Yeah, man, come on, you can do it, man. Just get it." It was like, no, I want a Type R. But he got an opportunity to test drive the GR86, which is really, really cool. I'm surprised they let him test drive it. But he was just mentioning like, do you need a GR86 to get you back and forth to work? Like, do I need 300 horsepower four-wheel, all-wheel drive on tap, ready to go? No, I don't. If my 2000 Frontier is doing the exact same thing a GR Corolla would be doing, right? And the opposite end of the spectrum, right? You want your ultimate track car. You have your 911 GT2 RS, and that's a pipe dream for tons of people. But instead, you have your FL5 Type R, and again, are you actually using your FL5 Type R for what it is, right? Or are you just doing freeway runs? Because at that point, if you're just doing freeway runs, it's like, why don't you just get a giant V8, like get a Hell Kitty, and like just freaking whomp on it? You'll be at 130 miles per hour in 10 seconds, going to a freeway. Like, there's better ways of spending your money for the type of driving you do. And I guess this is what this whole podcast is about. Do you have too much car? What kind of money, the money that you have, can it be better spent or well spent on a car that's more suitable for what it is you're doing? So I encourage you, write down your driving habits. How much time you spend on road, what is it that you're doing? Like if your weekend canyon carving, we're lucky to have that in California. If you're doing the California 2Gay, like every weekend, well then, yeah, maybe you should spring for that 911, GTS, right? That's the one I'd get. But if you are literally like going once every 6 months, and half the time or 80% of the time you're spent going to and from work and getting groceries, and the other 18% is just going to your cars and coffee and showing off, and 2% is actually driving, well then I feel like you maybe have too much car if you had that 911 GTS and you're just showing it off. Unless it just brings you that much joy and pride, just like my little LC, just like my little Honda 2000. If it does, it does. Hey, I used to take my Honda 2000 out to the canyons every Sunday. That was when I was getting my master's. I would take that to the canyons every Sunday to just blow off some steam when I was just stuck in a computer for 8 hours doing reading and research. That was fun. The Ortegas every Sunday. So I used that S2000 for what it was meant for. So that's my thoughts. Maybe I'm completely wrong. What do you think? Leave a comment down below because I publish these on YouTube. But definitely check out the RSS feed and look at the other podcasts. Support it. It's all my thoughts, and I hope that I'm driving your mind and keeping you up to date. So I appreciate it. Keep following the channel. Keep following the podcast. Content's coming in more slowly just because, the weather's changing. Work is, up to the brim right now. My September calendar looks like it has chicken pox, and it just keeps filling and filling. But we'll get it. You got it. Thank you guys so much. Stay positive, stay driven, keep the ratchet stuff at home, even though I love it. And we'll catch you in the next one. Bye.